supposed to bind our souls at the temple. We were supposed to bind our souls at the temple of the Allfather that day, but my betrothed threw me out of the sacred grounds, then walked in with his childhood sweetheart instead.
He looked at me like it was nothing.
Ingrid's child needs a father, so she could stay in the clan. Once we sever the blood oath, I'll come back and bind with you.
Everyone thought I'd swallow my pride and wait until the next moon. After all, I'd already waited for 7 years. But that night, I took a ship across the western fjords for an arranged marriage. I vanished from his world completely. 3 years later, my husband and I flew our dragons back to the mainland for a grand ancestral blot. My husband had an urgent border skirmish to attend to, so he sent a beast and a handler to escort me. I walked out of the dragon docks. I walked into the arrival's courtyard and saw a warrior holding a parchment bearing my runic crest. I walked over and froze. Holding the parchment was my ex-betrothal, Soren. He was craning his neck, looking past me at the incoming wyverns. He had Ingrid with him, and half his old raiding party. One of the warriors nudged him.
Soren, isn't that your clinging admirer? That's Astrid?
Soren looked at me. He looked surprised for a split second. Then he smirked.
I told you all long ago. I knew she'd call back.
The whole raiding party burst out laughing.
Astrid vanished without a trace. Now she sees Sorden has plundered gold. She probably cries herself to sleep every night.
One of them looked me up and down.
Astrid, if you're here to see Sorden, why show up in plain wool? Couldn't you at least paint your face with war colors? Without Sorden, you can't even barter for a nice cloak. Pathetic.
It was true. I used to spend hours getting ready for Seddon. Full braided hair, clan paints, fitted leathers and furs, always making sure I looked perfect for him. But I didn't need to do that anymore, because I'm pregnant. And my husband refused to let me ride uncomfortably. He banned heavy chainmail, and had this plain toque spun by the light elves of Alfheim just for me. Listening to them mock me, it suddenly clicked. They only read the ruse on the garrison's dispatch. They had no idea the noble they were picking up was me. Since I wasn't saying anything, an old mutual friend stepped in, trying to play peacemaker.
Astrid, glad to see you back. Solon actually spent years looking for you. He has been asking about you everywhere.
Solin's smug smile stiffened. He cleared his throat and acted casually.
Ingrid's kid starts shield training next week. From now on, you're getting him to the training grounds.
He was still so incredibly arrogant. But I wasn't that naive little girl anymore. Looking at him now, I just felt exhausted and disgusted. I didn't want to waste another second on them. I was just about to tell them exactly who I was, but Ingrid beat me to it.
Astrid, please don't be mad at Soren. He's just trying to take care of you. You disappeared for 3 winters. What kind of shady taverns have you been staying at? Look at you. Solon wanted to make you his personal scribe, but clearly you're not a fit. Don't worry, being my thrall is an honor. No one will look down on you.
3 years apart, she's still as arrogant as ever. She still makes me cringe.
Soren saw my scowl and thought I was just jealous. His eyes flashed with triumph.
All right, Astrid, drop the attitude. You clearly can't survive out in the wilds. So hold your temper, take care of the kid, and learn your place. Don't worry, I got a perfect cot for you, just in the dragon pens.
The whole group howled with laughter.
By Thor, Astrid, show some appreciation. He's giving you free meat and mead. Isn't it better than wherever you're living now?
Ingrid touched her gold-forged earring, putting on an affected tone.
Don't you worry, dear. If my son acts up, I'll make sure he still behave. He won't let it out on you, I promise.
Solon let out a cold laugh and shot me a glance.
Why's that? She was always so stubborn, ran away over a tiny little misunderstanding. If she hit rock bottom out there, she deserves to suffer a little.
Hearing that, my heart actually skipped a beat. After 3 years, he still thought ditching me at the Temple of the Allfather for Ingrid was just a tiny little misunderstanding. Soren, the one I had fallen in love with, was gone. He wasn't the boy who carried me across the frozen tundra, ignoring his own bleeding frostbite. He wasn't the broken youth who promised me the 9 realms. He wasn't the warrior who, despite all his glory and spoils, was still willing to do game for me. But whatever, it was all in the past. None of it mattered anymore. Besides, I'm about to give birth to my 2nd child. Pushed my feelings down. I didn't want to argue with them. It was pointless.
Aren't you here to guide me to the keep? Let's go.
They exchanged looks. Then they burst out laughing.
Guide you?
What a joke. She pointed at the runic parchment. Read it carefully.
We are waiting for Lady Varg. Do you even know who that is?
Varg was my new name. Of course I knew.
Lady Varg is the matriarch of the Black Dragon clan. She is the actual wife of High Jarl Gulda Varg. Gulda Varg is a ruthless warlord, but he's completely obsessed with his wife.
I heard he stayed solitary for years, just waiting for her. Everyone in the realm knows the rule. Don't try to kiss up to Gondar, kiss up to Lady Varg. She is his entire world. Listening to them gossip about my marriage, I couldn't help it.
To win his wife's heart, Goran Varg bartered with the dwarves of Svartalfard for a custom arm ring. It's called the Tear of Yggdrasil. It costs 20 chests of gold.
Lady Varg is literally the most envied woman in Midlad.
Her eyes darted down to my wrist. She let out a sharp gasp.
That's the exact same arm!
It's a pretty good fake. Which broke stableboy bought this for you? Buying you a cheap iron knockoff. Absolute trash.
I snatched my hand back and gently rubbed the arm ring on my wrist. I smirked, seeing my happy, unfazed smile. Soren's eyes narrowed in pure rage. He lunged forward. He grabbed my wrist with a crushing grip and violently ripped the arm ring off my arm. Ingrid eagerly stepped forward. She snatched the arm ring from Solen's hand and started playing with it.
Look, a high-quality fake. Way better than the replica I bought from that merchant. But I'd never actually wear mine in the Great Hall. How embarrassing.
These foreign knockoffs are more detailed. The weight actually feels real.
She gave me a mocking, sickly sweet smile.
Or what, Astria? Are you saying you're the real Lady Varg?
Are you the legendary warlord's wife? The second she said it, the raiding party erupted into hysterical laughter. Gunnan Varg was a feared conqueror. He was ruthless and unstoppable. And 3 years ago, I was just a pathetic nobody, the loser who got dumped at the temple. Ingrid spun the priceless arm ring around her finger.
Astrid, sell this fake to me.
I'll pay you double. I panicked, terrified she was going to drop it.
Give that back right now! Gunnar gave that to me!
Shut your mouth!
Soren glared at me like I was insane.
Astrid, have you gone mad? How dare you just drop Lord Varg's name like that? Are you trying to get me sent to Valhalla early?
His warrior buddies stared at me with pure rage.
Do you have any idea how hard we fought for this escort duty? Gunnar Varg conquered Soren's clan last harvest. Our entire livelihood depends on him now.
The only way Soren keeps his commander spot is if we impress Lady Varg.
And you're out here spreading psychotic rumors that you know the High Jarl? Are you trying to ruin Solen's honor?
My stare must have been dead cold because Soren frowned. A flicker of genuine panic flashed across his eyes.
You ungrateful rat! Solen was kind enough to offer you a roof to survive. Don't push it. I know you're bitter about the past, but trying to sabotage his command out of petty revenge? That's sick.
Sora shook his head in disgust.
You're such a jealous shrew.
But this time, he didn't keep screaming at me. He went quiet for a second. Then he pulled out a heavy pouch from his belt. He tossed a bag of pure silver pieces right at my chest.
For the sake of our past bond, I'll let this slide. Take the silver. Go get some decent cloaks. If you really don't want to tend the pens for Ingrid's kid, I'll have you sent to the kitchens next week.
Watching him play the generous savior made my stomach turn. The whole group watched me, waiting for me to grovel and take the pouch. Instead, I kicked it away. I reached over.
No thank you, Commander. Seems like you need it more than I do.
Soren's face turned bright red. I ignored him and turned to walk away. But I barely made it 2 steps before he grabbed my arm.
Astrid! What is your problem?
Commander? What do you mean?
I pulled my arm free.
We broke our oaths 3 years ago.
It's better if we keep our distance. I wouldn't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
I was thinking about my fiercely loyal, slightly jealous Dragonlord husband, but Solen glanced over at Ingrid. He looked like he had it all figured out.
The Jarls are hosting a great solstice feast for Lord Varg in 3 days. I was actually planning to bring you to my table, to let you experience true grand ceremony, but you'd need to buy a decent dress. I can't have you embarrassing me.
I cut him off immediately. With all respect, I really don't need it.
Hearing me reject him again, Solen grew annoyed. He was grinding his teeth.
Astrid, you've grown a spine, haven't you? It's true what they say. The poorer you get, the bigger your attitude. Fine! If you don't want to go, forget it! I'll take Ingrid.
Hearing that she got to attend the High Jar's feast, Ingrid's eyes lit up.
Solen, I promise I'll be perfect. I absolutely won't embarrass you.
I was so incredibly done with them. I turned around and strode away, but I tossed one last look over my shoulder.
I'm looking forward to seeing you both in 3 days.
I practically sprinted out of the courtyard, hitting the crisp, freezing air outside, finally pushing down the nauseous churning in my stomach. My mind flashed back to 3 years ago. My clan had been pressuring me into an arranged marriage across the sea. I fought them on it. I begged Sudan, my betrothed of 7 years, to just run away with me into the forests, to swear oaths and be together forever. But when I showed up at the temple of the All-Father, he brought Ingrid. He told me her child needed a father under clan law. He told me he'd sever the tie to her in a moon's time and bond with me then. He told me not to overthink it. Watching him hold her hand and walk up to the altar, I realized what a fool I've been. I sailed across the western fjords for a blind arrangement that very night. A moon later, I married Gunnar Varg. A year later, we had our firstborn, and now I'm pregnant with our second. Honestly, if it wasn't for Gullar's ancestral blot, I definitely wouldn't have seen Soren ever again. 3 days later, I showed up to the Great Solstice Feast alone, wearing light face paint and my custom Ellen-spun tunic. The second Soren saw me, his eyes lit up. A smug smirk spread across his face.
You said you didn't want to come, but here you are. Listen, if you want me back, you need to at least dress the part to match my new status.
I brushed off his arrogance and tried to pass him. He stopped me angrily after just 2 steps.
Astrid! I'm talking to you. Our seats are right here.
Where do you think you're going?
I shook his hand off. Those are your seats. Mine is over there. I pointed straight at the high jaw's carved oak table. Soren's face instantly darkened. Ingrid shot me a venomous glare. She pointed directly at my wrist and yelled at the top of her lungs.
Astrid, how did you sneak in here? Are you here to ruin everything? How dare you wear that arm ring?
Her screeching made the entire mead hall turn to look at us. People immediately started whispering.
Wait, is that the tear of Yggdrasil? Lord Varg forged that for his wife. Tonight is Lady Varg's first public appearance. Is this girl trying to mock the High Jarl's wife? She sneaked past the guards. Is she trying to humiliate us in front of Lord Varg?
One of the elder warriors turned to Soren.
Commander, is this young lady of your clan?
Soren saw that I wasn't even looking at him. He adjusted his expensive fur cloak and said coldly,
No, I don't know her.
Hearing that, Ingrid looked completely thrilled. She lifted her chin and sneered at me.
Take that fake arm ring off and get out!
I looked at her, completely amused. Are you sure? Ingrid realized the clan elders were watching her. Her eyes turned vicious.
Stop acting like you're special! Take it off!
She lunged forward to rip it off my wrist. I swapped her hand away and stepped backward, but someone's boot shot out behind me. I tripped. I was completely stunned. Before I could get up, Ingrid stomped her heavy boot down on my hand, tore the arm ring off my wrist. Treating this cheap garbage like treasure, she spat. My hand throbed from her heel. My wrist was bleeding and torn, but I just sat there, staring blankly at the snapped armband and the glowing enchanted stones scattering across the rush-covered floor.
Pick her up and throw her to the wolves!
A few berserkers immediately surrounded me. They reached down to grab my arms and legs. I panicked and struggled.
Stop touching me! I am Gunnar Varg.
Ingrid slapped me across the face before I could finish.
Are you saying that you're Lord Varg's thrill now? You psychotic witch!
She wasn't satisfied. She backhanded me a second time. When I sailed back to the mainland, I didn't want to bother with revenge. It felt beneath me. But right now, I was going to make sure she paid for this in blood. Soren crouched down in front of me. He reached out to touch my bleeding wrist. I instinctively flinched away from him. His eyes turned ice cold.
Astrid, are you done throwing your little fit? You showed up wearing a fake dwarfen ring, dressed like a complete mess, just because you see I'm wealthy now, and you want to make me jealous. If you want me back, beg for it. I'll say yes.
I let out a dark, freezing laugh. I looked him dead in the eye. Soren, you are absolutely done. Soren frowned. He opened his mouth to yell at me again, but suddenly, the entire mead hall went dead silent. All the warriors frantically straightened their stances and rushed toward the massive timber doors. Solon panicked and yanked me to my feet.
Lord Varg is here. Behave yourself.
He hissed.
And don't worry, Astrid. Ingrid and I have already severed our oaths.
I stared at him, rubbing my bruised hand. This man was absolutely repulsive. What did his broken oaths have to do with me? At that exact moment, Gunnar walked through the doors. Surrounded by a massive entourage of elite guards and massive black hounds. Outside, the roar of his dragon shook the roof beams. He was holding our toddler in his arms. Once they got into the hall, my son squirmed to get down. Gunnar set him on the floor. The adorable little boy instantly captured the entire room's attention. His nurse maid hurried nervously right behind him, terrified he'd trip. Soren didn't notice who the kid was running towards. He turned to me and whispered,
Astrid, If you stop acting jealous of Ingrid, I'll forgive you for vanishing for 3 winters. I'll give you a chance to give me a child of ours.
I didn't say a single word to him. I just looked past him, trying to catch Gunnar in my son's eyes through the crowd. And then it happened. Gunnar followed the toddler's clumsy little footsteps, right up to where I was. The second my little boy saw me, he panicked. He threw himself into my arms.
Mother, who hurt you? Why is there so much blood?
The word mother echoed through the silent hall. The warriors who had just watched me get assaulted stared at me in absolute horror. My son's warm hug instantly washed away my disgust. I crouched down and gently pinched his chubby cheek. Mother's fine, my boy. He grabbed my bleeding hand and gently blew on the torn skin. Tears welled up in his eyes.
Mother, who dared to do this to you?
Before I could comfort him, the air in the room suddenly turned freezing cold. A heavy, suffocating pressure washed over the crowd. Gunnar was walking towards us. The sea of terrified warriors parted for him. Ever since I got pregnant with our second baby, he had been insanely overprotective, glued to my side day and night. I instantly regretted flying back ahead of him. I picked up our son and turned around. The bright red blood dripping down my wrist stood out starkly against my son's white linen shirt. Our son swerved to get down.
Father, someone hurt Mother. We have to make them pay.
Gunnar stepped forward and gently took my bleeding wrist. His face was terrifyingly dark.
Astrid, what is this? Every time I take my eyes off you, you get hurt.
Who in the Nine Ithers dared hurt you?
Seeing this ruthless warlord turn into a fiercely protective husband made my heart melt. He was so protective. A mosquito bite, a tiny mark from sleep, even just half a horn less of mead, he's instantly worried. But I loved how intensely he cared about me.
The hall's torches were heavily dimmed, but our son felt something hard under his leather shoe. He bent down and picked up the massive center star stone from my broken arm ring.
Father, isn't this the present you gave Mother?
Guller took the glowing stone and flipped it over. Seeing his own engraved clan rudas, he looked at the crushed arm bling on the floor, then at my mangled wrist. His hand gripped the carved dragon head of a nearby chair so hard, the solid oak literally splintered under his grip. Frustrated by the shadows, he gently forced me into the chair. He roared at the thralls.
Light every single bolshar in this hall!
When our eyes met, his pupils slightly like a dragon's, he suddenly cuffed my face.
What happened to your face? They actually dared to do this to you?
I'm fine, Gunnar, I said softly, patting his hand.
Astrid, I am your husband. You never have to take any abuse.
His voice dropped to a lethal growl.
No one bullies Mother!
Our son nodded furiously. Honestly, I could have handled Siren and Ingrid myself, but maybe it was the pregnancy, or just finally feeling safe. My voice suddenly cracked. All the built-up exhaustion finally broke through.
You weren't here. They all picked on me.
Ingrid's little minion, Tova, strutted out of the crowd.
Astrid, where did you hire these 2 mummers? Their acting is pretty good.
Do you want Ingrid to get them a spot in the Bard's Guild?
Since you're clearly too broke to afford a decent cloak, I've got an old dress. If you don't mind, I can give it to you so you won't make a fool of yourself.
Tova had arrived late. She totally missed Gunnar's terrifying entrance. She was just Ingrid's lapdog, dressed up to snag a wealthy yard tonight. And she knew the easiest way to impress Ingrid was to bully me. Tova threw her head back and cackled at her own joke. Usually, the warriors would instantly laugh along with her, but this time, the entire mead hall just stared at her like she was suicidal.
Tova noticed the dead silence, but she doubled down.
You're a good-looking brute. If you leave Astrid, I wouldn't mind being your shield mate. She looked right at Gunnar and smirked. Her words made the corner of my mouth twitch in embarrassment. She wanted to be a shield maid to Gunnar Varg? I honestly didn't know if she was incredibly brave or just incredibly stupid. Anyone with functioning eyes could feel Gonan's terrifying Dragon Lord aura. Guller actually let out a dark, furious laugh. If I offered to be his shield mate, he'd be thrilled. But any other woman, he would only think she was courting the Valkyries. Over the years, any woman who tried to throw herself at him, all vanished. Tova finally realized the vibe was completely toxic. She nervously stepped toward Ingrid for backup, but Ingrid wanted absolutely nothing to do with her, slapped her viciously across the face. Tova crashed hard onto the stone floor.
Tova! Are you insane? You dare offend Lord and Lady Varg?
She knew Gordar's ruthless reputation. She knew he fed anyone who even looked at his wife the wrong way to his drakes. Tova started shaking uncontrollably.
Someone in the crowd gasped. Every eye in the room dropped to the floor. A puddle was forming beneath her. Tova had literally wet herself in pure terror.
By the gods, look at her skirt!
Gullar didn't even blink. He just slightly furrowed his brow.
Two massive berserkers immediately stepped up and dragged Tova out of the hall.
Sor and Ingrid's faces burned bright red, even though Tuva was the one getting dragged out. Everyone knew she was just echoing their insults. Meanwhile, Gulnar's private healer was frantically cleaning the torn skin on my wrist. I winced, just a tiny hiss of pain. Instantly, Gonard and our son glared at the healer like they were going to execute him.
You don't even know how to apply the pouchage properly?
The poor healer's hands started shaking violently in fear.
I immediately shot my husband and son a stern warning glare. Instantly, the terrifying warlord and the fierce toddler melted.
Astrid.
Mother. They both looked at me with identical, pathetic eyes.
I let out a soft sigh.
Calm down, you two. The healer is trying to help. Stop glaring at him.
With my reassurance, the healer let out a massive breath of relief. He finished his work and turned to Gonnar.
Lord Varg, your lady is perfectly fine. The unborn child is safe. Her wrist is pretty torn up, though. I'll use our best troll fat slab to prevent any scarring.
Gunnar didn't say a single word. I knew exactly what that meant. That was his pre-explosion silence.
Standing in the crowd, Solon looked terrified, but underneath the panic, he burned with jealousy as he watched us being close.
But his command's survival was on the line, so he had to bite his tongue.
Gulnar stood up beside me, looking out over the terrified crowd of warriors and Jals. He looked so lethal, but honestly, I found it adorable, especially with our son standing right beside him, looking like a tiny, angry clone.
I want to know exactly what happened over the last 3 days. If someone speaks up now, maybe I will spare your life. But if I have to find out myself, every single one of you is going to feed the dragons.
It was a naked, terrifying threat. These people had fought tooth and nail just to get an invite to this feast. None of them wanted to die for Soren. Soren panicked. He desperately stepped forward to save his own skin.
Lord Varg, it's just a huge misunderstanding. As Astrid's betrothed, I was just catching up with her. It was just an accident.
I froze. He actually used the word betrothed, right to my husband's face. It was pure, delusional arrogance. He really thought I had spent the last 3 years staying pure for him. He completely ignored the murderous look crossing Gonan's face. I whipped my head around. Gondard had literally crushed his car's drinking horn, barehanded. Blood was dripping down his fingers.
Gunnar!
I grabbed his hand, completely horrified.
I grabbed a clean linen cloth and frantically started wrapping Gunnar's bleeding hand. I spun around and screamed at Soren. Sabotage my marriage! I think I've been way too kind to you. I only love Gunnar!
Astrid, I know you're bitter, but Ingrid and I have already severed our oaths now. Her kid will call you mother. You only married this warlord to make me mad, right? If you don't like Ingrid, I'll banish her to the wilds.
I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. Shamelessness really blew my mind. Gordard's blood was smearing onto my clothes. As I urgently pressed the cloth to his palm, he suddenly started laughing, a low, genuinely happy laugh. Why are you laughing?
And gently patted my head.
Astrid, you just said I'm the one you love the most.
Our son literally rolled his eyes. His ruthless, terrifying dad was currently acting like a lovesick youth just because I defended him.
The other half were dying of envy. I could hear the frantic whispers spreading through the crowd. Sorer stood there, his fists completely clenched in humiliation. But my son wasn't done with him. Leap looked him up and down with absolute disgust.
My mother is the queen of our keep. You think you deserve her? Mother is only having 2 kids. Me and my little sister. I know all about you. You're the trash who broke my mum's heart. You're not as battle-hardened as my dad. You're not as tall as my dad. You're not as strong as my dad.
Lee pinched his little nose.
And you smell like a wet dog. It's making my eyes water. Is your kid going to grow up to be a leech who lives off women's weaving, just like you?
The elite guests surrounding us erupted into laughter. His chest heaved with shame.
Everyone in that room knew the truth. He only got his commander title by leeching off Ingrid's clan wealth. Hearing all this, Ingrid completely snapped. Sore had literally just asked me to replace her, to be his son's real mother.
Ingrid grabbed a silver meat-carving knife. She lunged straight at Leth.
I didn't even think. I let go of Gonan's hand and threw my body over my Sony over my son. A blinding, agonizing pain ripped through my back.
Are you?
I didn't even get to finish the sentence. Everything went black. I collapsed to the floor.
I woke up to the sharp
to Ingrid's hand. I didn't even know a toddler could have that much strength. And Gonard? He looked like Fennel unleashed.
Gonard found out what happened at the docks. He found out Soren slapped you and broke your arm ring.
He had his guards pin sore to the floor, and he severed the hand that hit you with his broadsword. Leaf just stood there and watched. Didn't even blink. He's a terrifying little devil. Then they beat Sora's face into an unrecognizable pulp. But that wasn't even the worst part. Golnar found out Ingrid wanted your enchanted stones.
Golnar found out Ingrid wanted your enchanted stones, so he had his men bring out a massive sack of raw, uncut dragon rubies.
He looked at her and said,
You love taking things that don't belong to you? I'll give you exactly what you want. The stones and my wife's leftovers.
Ingrid refused to eat them, so Gonnar had her kid dragged into the hall.
She was so terrified she's swallowing the jagged stones.
Then Gullar had her face slashed to pieces. Right in front of her, he had her son's bowstrings cut, and he had her dumped into the frozen sea.
I stared at Sigrid, completely stunned.
What about the yards?
Oh, Gonnar handled them too.
Every single warrior who stood there and watched you get bullied, Gornar had their shield arms sliced open, just enough to leave a permanent scar, to punish them for just standing by.
If I wasn't your sworn sister, I probably would have gotten sliced too. She fake wiped a tear, trying to make me laugh. I just rolled my eyes at her.
The bards were there, Siglin continued, but no one dared to sing of the blood.
The word just spread that Soren's clan was dissolved overnight. Any Jarl who didn't help you, their trade routes are being actively blockaded by Varg longships. Right now, Gundal and Leif are hunting Soren down.
He was supposed to be thrown to the waves with Ingrid, but apparently they made some sick deal. Ingrid threw herself at the guards to buy him time, and Solon fled into the woods. Golter's revenge had been absolutely brutal, but honestly, I wasn't scared of him at all. I was just worried that our sweet toddler was led astray by the violence. Golnar and Lef rushed in. Lef practically shoved his aunt out of the way.
Mother!
He threw himself at my fur-lined couch. Golnard's eyes were completely bloodshot. He looked like he hadn't slept since the last harsh winter.
I'm okay, Golnar, don't worry.
Leaf, did Father yell at you while I was asleep? Leaf froze. He pouted and tears fell down his dirt-smudged cheeks.
Father didn't yell at me.
I wrapped my arms around my son and shot Gonnar a dark glare. The ruthless Dragon Lord immediately looked guilty. He awkwardly rubbed the back of his neck.
Mother, I'll never let anyone hurt you again. It was all my fault. I'm sorry.
Protecting you is Mother's job. I don't blame you at all. Gorda, the healer's already bound it with herbs. There's nothing to see.
But he gently traced the edge of the wound and softly blew on the wound. It sent a shiver down my spine.
Astrid, I swear to the gods there will never be a next time.
I believe you. You're the man I love the most. I treasure my life because I plan to spend the rest of life with you until Valhalla.
Leaf, grab Mother's
On the day
bone
of my
comb off the
departure,
table.
I was packing my satchel. The timber door creaked open. I had my back to
Astrid.
I slowly turned around. I froze. Standing in the doorway was Soren. His face was an unrecognizable, swollen mess of purple bruises.
Astrid, you have to save me. Varg is insane. Come with me, we can still be together.
He was literally missing half his teeth, and he still thought I wanted him? Soren, you are nothing to me. You are just a pathetic coward. He opened his mouth to argue, but suddenly, a massive shadow swallowed him.
I should have fed you to the Drax when I had the chance.
That was the last time I ever saw him. He was sent to the deepest iron mines.
Weeks had passed, the wounds had healed, but the weight of it all still lingered in my chest. In the painting, Gonnar looked at me with absolute consuming devotion, but I was looking forward, distant, indifferent. As I pulled it off the stone wall, dozens of loose parchment sketches and memory stones rained down onto the floor. I dropped to my knees, completely shocked. They were sketches of me. He had been watching me for years. I heard footsteps. Gornan walked into the hall. He saw me sitting on the floor, surrounded by his secret stash.
Astrid, how did you...
The color completely brained of the terrifying Dragon Lord's face. He looked like a thief caught red-handed.
If you liked me this much back then, why didn't you just present yourself?
You made me waste 7 winters with that oath-breaking fool.
The shading in this one is actually really good. I love it.
Astrid, you don't blame me for being a shadow, for watching from the dark.
Shut up. You're not a shadow. Looking at these, all I feel is how much you love me.
Astrid, I never dared to ask the gods for your love. I just wanted to be allowed to guard your flank.
Stop saying stupid things. I love you the most. My heart is completely yours.
You're under Astrid's protection now. Consider this your meat allowance. I never realized. That lonely boy eating stale bread was Goldar. Because of his past, he always felt unworthy. I made a silent promise to the gods. I was going to spend the rest of my life showing this insecure, sensitive Dragon Lord exactly how much I loved him. A moon had passed since the solstice feast. Sordin was dead to the world, or so we thought. But peace is a rare jewel in the frozen north. Word of Gonar's ruthless devotion to me had spread across the realms. To most, it was a romantic epic sung by bards. But to Gonar's adoptive father, Jarl Kale of the Icewolf clan, Kale was the tyrant who raised Gonar with nothing but cold steel and starvation. The heavy doors of our great hall swung open. Kale's envoy marched in, flanked by heavily armored frost warriors. He didn't bow to Gunnar.
Lord Kale demands tribute, the envoy spit. 10 chests of dwarfian gold, 100 purebred warhounds.
And to ensure your loyalty, Lord Varg, your wife will come with us to the Iceworth Keep.
As a hostage.
The entire mead hall went dead silent. Every warrior in the room reached for their axes. The temperature in the hall plummeted. He slowly stood up, his hand resting on the hilt of his broadsword. I placed a hand on his arm. Wait. Gonard froze. He looked at me. I stood up from my throne. I didn't cower. I didn't hide behind my warlord husband. I walked slowly down the stone steps. The envoy smirked, thinking I was surrendering.
Good girl. Kale promised you a warm cage.
In a flash, I pulled the hidden Elgin dagger. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the envoy by his thick braided beard.
But my blade was already pressed deep into the side of his neck, drawing a bead of bright red blood. Go back to Kale. Tell him he doesn't get a hostage. Tell him Lady Varg is bringing a war to his doorstep.
And sliced it clean off with one brutal motion. In our culture, cutting a warrior's beard was the ultimate humiliation, worse than death. The envoy screamed in outrage, reaching for his weapon. The envoy fled in absolute terror. Gonard stood behind me, his chest heaving with pride. His eyes burned with an intoxicating mix of lust and awe.
My queen.
But we knew Kale wouldn't back down. What we didn't know was that Kale had a new pet. Deep in the freezing caverns of the Iceworld Keep, Soren was kneeling before Jarl Kale. He had survived the cliffs, washed up on the rocky shores, broken and pathetic, only to be found by Kale's scouts. Soren's face was scarred. His eyes were hollow, consumed by pure, toxic obsession.
I know her weakness, Lord Kale.
Soren rasped.
Astrid travels to the sacred dragon hatcheries alone every week. She goes to sing to the unhatched eggs.
Give me a dozen of your best assassins. I will bring her to you.
And Gunnar will surrender his entire kingdom to get her back.
Do it. But remember, the woman belongs in the dungeons.
Of course.
3 days later, I was in the cavernous warmth of the sacred hatcheries. The massive, glowing dragon eggs hummed with magic. I gently ran my hands over a crimson shell. Suddenly, the entrance to the cavern was blocked. A dozen frost assassins filed in, their blades drawn, and stepping out from behind them was Soren. He looked like a monster.
Hello, Astrid.
He smiled, flashing his iron hook. I didn't scream. I didn't drop my basket of herbs. You really are like a cockroach, Soren. His scarred face twitched with rage.
You ruined my life! I lost my command! I lost my hand! I lost Ingrid! And you get to sit on a throne? He stepped closer, his eyes crazed.
Gunnar isn't here to save you this time. Dragons are on patrol at the border. It's just you and me. If you come quietly, I won't let them hurt the child in your belly. We're going to leave this realm. You're going to be mine again.
He reached out to grab me, but I just smiled, a cold, authoritative smile.
Sorrow, you always underestimated me. I didn't marry a dragon lord just to sit and look pretty.
I raised a carved bone whistle to my lips and blew. The sound was deafening, echoing through the volcanic cavern. The ground began to shake violently. Sora stumbled backward, his assassins looking around in panic.
What did you do?
The wall of the cavern exploded inward. Massive, ancient crimson drake, the mother of the clutch, smashed through the rock. Her scales glowed with liquid fire. Her golden eyes locked onto the men, threatening me. Let out a roar that physically threw 3 assassins into the air. I stood calmly beside her massive, scaled leg. I gently rested my hand on her fiery snout.
Did you really think I came to the hatcheries unprotected? I am Lady Varg. I am the mother of the keep. These beasts answer to me.
Kill them all. The cavern turned into an absolute slaughterhouse. Fire breathed down from the ceiling. The assassins were turned to ash in seconds. Gunnel stood over Soren. He had flown back the second he heard the drake's roar. His broadsword was drawn, glowing with runic magic.
I should have cut off your head. the first time.
Soren sobbed, raising his iron hook in a pathetic attempt to defend himself.
Mercy! Lord Varg! Mercy! I was forced! Kyle made me do it!
Golnan raised his sword for the killing blow.
Golnan!
Stop. Golnar instantly froze. He lowered his blade and looked at me. I walked over, my elven tunic completely untouched by the soot and fire. I looked down at the pathetic, sniveling man I had once loved. There was no sadness left, just absolute disgust.
I didn't want him to be Gonan's burden. I wanted to handle this myself. Soren, true rulers never accept betrayal. And dragons never forgive.
I looked at my crimson date. I gave a short, sharp nod. The Draken lunged forward. Her massive jaws clamped down on Sotan Thaykun's legs. He let out one final blood-curdling shriek as she dragged him backward into the volcanic depths. Gone forever, I turned to Gonar. Now, let's go kill your father.
The war lasted exactly 1 day. Gonar and I didn't send an army. We went ourselves. I rode my Crimson Drac, and Gonar rode his monstrous Black Wylan.
We descended upon the Icewolf keep like gods of destruction. The skies burned. The Frost warriors threw down their shields. The moment they saw us, they knew they were fighting a losing battle
against the true king and queen of the north. Jarl Kael was dragged out of his freezing throne room. He was thrown into the snow at Gonar's feet.
The cruel man who had starved and beaten Gollum as a boy was now trembling like a leaf. He looked at Gollum, then looked at me.
Gollum, my son. I made you a warlord!
Gollum didn't say a word. He looked at me, waiting for my judgment. I looked down at Kael.
You raised a weapon to my family.
Your clan is dissolved. Your lands belong to the Varg banner, and your name will be erased from the sagas.
Gondar swung his blade. The tyranny of the Icewolf clan was ended forever. Our rule over the Northern Realms was now absolute. Peace finally settled over Midland, and 2 moons later my time came. The healers rushed into the great chamber. Gonar was a complete wreck. The most ruthless, bloodthirsty warlord in the 9 realms
was pacing the halls, tearing his hair out, threatening to execute the gods themselves if I suffered.
Leaf sat by the door, sharpening a small wooden dagger, looking equally stressed. After hours of agonizing labor, a piercing cry broke the silence. The moment she was born, an incredible thing happened.
Every single dragon in the Varg pens and wild dragons for miles around took flight. They circled our keep, roaring in a massive, earth-shattering chorus.
Gollum burst into the room, tears streaming down his face. He fell to his knees beside the bed. He didn't even look at the baby first. He buried his face in my neck, kissing my sweat-drenched skin.
Astrid, my life, my soul, thank you, thank you.
I smiled weakly and nudged him. Look at your daughter, you giant bear. The healer gently placed the bundled infant in his massive, scarred arms. We named her Freya. She had my features, but Guldur's striking, intense golden eyes. The great naming ceremony was held a week later.
The Mee Hall was packed with Jarls from every corner of the conquered realms. They had come to swear fealty, not just to Gundar, but to me.
Leaf stood proudly next to the crib, fiercely guarding his little sister. Any Jar who stepped too close got a vicious glare from the toddler. Gondar stood before the roaring hearth fire. He raised his drinking horn. The hall erupted in cheers and the stomping of boots. But Gunnar wasn't finished. He turned to me. He pulled a newly forged crown from a velvet chest. It was made of black iron and intertwined dragon glass.
He knelt before me, in front of all his lords and warriors.
I have conquered the north, but my heart was conquered long ago. I crown you, Astrid, absolute queen of the northern skies.
I looked out at the kneeling warriors, and then down at the man, and then down at the man who worshipped the ground I walked on. I had truly won. The winter winds howled outside the keep, but the great hall was warm and bright. Soren and Ingrid were nothing but forgotten ashes in the wind. Their names were never spoke again. Lef was 8 now, already flying his own young Willin over the fjords. He was a fierce, protective older brother. Little Freya was 5, a tiny terror who trailed after her father everywhere. She had the entire clan wrapped around her little finger. I sat on the fur-lined throne, watching them play by the hearth. Gollud walked up behind me. He wrapped his massive arms around my waist and rested his chin on my shoulder. He smelled like pine, cold steel, and leather.
What are you thinking about, my queen?
I leaned back into his solid chest, just thinking about how much I hate plain barley bread. Gonard chuckled. a deep vibration against my back. He knew I was talking about the lonely boy I fed all those years ago. He turned my chin and kissed me deeply. His eyes still held the exact same pure, consuming obsession as the day we met.
I will worship you, Gulnard whispered against my lips, until the stars burn out and the seas freeze over. You are my beginning and my end.
I smiled, pulling him closer. I know. And in the frozen north, surrounded by dragons and love, our saga was finally perfect.